up, team? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today I've got my good friend Pete here, and we're doing another episode of Kitchen Experiments. Pete came up with this crazy idea, and I just have to try it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? What are we doing here, Pete?
Yeah, hey guys. I'm a big fan of stuffing foods and playing with my foods, and so a friend recommended stuffed chicken wings. I said, it's been done, right? You have the rice or sometimes rice noodles, stuffed chicken wings like in Thai food, but figured what if we tried other fillings? And then the same friend introduced me to Food Wars, and they did a Japanese style stuffed chicken wing gyoza. We're not gonna do that. We're going to do a Chinese pot sticker, and we have the ingredients here.
So what do we got here? We've got some ground pork. We've got some chicken wing flats. We've also got some chicken thighs because we're gonna try this with chicken thighs, shiitake mushrooms, and then we have a mushroom mix, which is some oyster mushrooms and other types of mushrooms.
We have ginger, green scallions, garlic chives, 2 eggs, garlic, and then we have our spice mix, which is salt, pepper, garlic powder, rice vinegar, and some sesame oil. The sesame oil we're gonna use to try to bind the pot sticker filling.
Awesome, let's get to it.
First thing we're gonna do is prep our ingredients. For this pot sticker mix, we're going to be cutting up bigger pieces of the garlic chives and the green onions, and we're going to de-skin the ginger, and we're gonna put it in a food processor. Don't really have to be too careful with chopping these things up because food processor. De-skin these green onions, cut the roots, and then...
Oh, you cut the outside. You take off the outside, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I never do that. Interesting.
Just purposes. Same thing with the garlic chives. Big full cuts is fine.
All right, guys, I'm doing the ginger because I love doing ginger. It's my favorite thing because I'm a beast. But, you know, show you guys. Just take the back of your knife. Just go ahead and get that skin off. Make sure you use the back of your knife. And then I'm just going to cut it into basically quarters here. Just like that, and food processor. It's a blessing. This umami mix that Pete brought, which is pretty cool, you know. All right, so we're gonna do 1 oyster mushroom. What kind of mushroom is this, Pete? Oh, it should say on here. This is a royal trumpet mushroom. I'm not sure why they call it a trumpet though. Super rubbery texture, but that's cool. All right, put that in there. And then we got the oyster mushroom, which we can just slice into a couple of quarters. Oh, I just do like that. Nice and easy. Boom. It's our oyster, and then we've got our shiitake mushrooms. So like I said, we have royal trumpet, shiitake, and oyster, which is gonna bring some nice umami into this dish, right? Cool.
The thing, right? A lot of people smash their garlic to bring out the flavor, but that's actually a really bad way of doing it because when you smash the garlic on the cutting board, the juices end up on the cutting board.
True that.
So with most Asian cookings, we don't measure, right? So we kind of just eyeball things. That looks about good. And notice we haven't included the ground pork in there, and that's because we are going to mix that in with the vegetables by hand. And there's a reason for that.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna It's like 1 mushroom left,
Yeah.
but I think for the rest of it, it's good, right? You don't want to overdo it. That's good. And there's gonna be some big pieces we can just take it out.
It smells really good.
Oh yeah, it smells awesome.
Aroma is coming from that garlic chive. The ground pork, and this is where we add in our spice mix. Add in our salt and pepper. Nice, healthy.
Always put less salt than you think you're gonna need because it always comes out saltier than you think it will. And you can always add salt to stuff later. You can add soy sauce or something.
I'm a big fan of garlic, so even though we have garlic and the garlic chives, we're gonna add in a little bit more garlic powder. Eggs helps bind the pot sticker filling together. And the reason why we're doing it manually is because I know typically with gyoza filling or pot sticker filling, they just use the food processor. But when you notice you bite into it, the filling kind of falls out. It doesn't bind together. This will help, doing it manually will help keep the filling as a meatball. All right, and then you have your chopsticks or whatever you can use to whisk with. And the key part to having your pot sticker filling bind together is you do it in one direction. And then when you're noticing your filling is not binding as much, that's when you add in your sesame oil. If you don't have sesame oil, you can use olive oil, peanut oil, or an extra egg.
This looks good. Now it's starting to look really, you can see it like kind of become a mush, a cohesive mush.
Right, and you won't get the same results with the food processor.
You can definitely tell by looking at it just how like, by going in one direction, how it's kind of like getting everything into a more bonded.
What's next is we're gonna test out the flavoring of this filling first. Whatever you make, like meatballs or pot sticker filling or any type of filling, you wanna take like a little, just a speck, and you pan fry it. You wanna try out the flavoring, see what still needs to be added.
Cheers. Oh, that really reminds me of like a real restaurant.
And that's the benefit of sauteing your filling.
And that's another thing. That's why it's okay to not add too much salt in the beginning. So next up, we're gonna debone our chicken wings. We're only using flats, and basically what we're doing is we're taking the bones out and we're gonna replace it with our stuffing that we just made. So you take your chicken wing flat, you've got wider side and narrower side. So the wider side is on a bit of an angle. You take your meat cleaver along the angle and you cut a little bit down here, just like that. You try to get all that end off because that's got all the connective tissue and all that jazz in there. Then you go back to the other side, the narrow side, you cut a little bit down from the bottom. There's a little bone and a big bone. I'm just gonna take my towel here. I'm gonna take my knife and I'm just gonna pull back the skin on the bones a bit. I'm just gonna de-skin some of this bone here, just so I have something to grip onto. Once I got a little bit exposed, I'm gonna grab my towel. I'm gonna start with a little bone. I'm gonna push the meat off the bone a bit until I can get a good grip on the bone. And I'm gonna start twisting the bone in the same direction. Pull, there you go, there's that bone. Nice and easy, and you got your chicken wing flat with no bones in it. All right guys, so we just deboned all of our chicken wings. Now we're gonna do some thighs. We got bone in with the skin on thighs because the skin on is gonna add that delicious flavor that we're going for. And we need to debone this thigh. So the easiest way is you find your bone, you go on the right side, and you just cut right down that side along the bone, just like that. Then I turn it around and I go down the other side. And then once I've kind of cut down the sides, I fold it over like this. I go along the back of the bone, cut it out, and then get it off the meat. Go ahead and just basically scrape down the bone, all the rest of the meat, basically peeling it off. And then once you get to the bottom, you just get the rest of the tendons and stuff off, but it basically comes out like that, and that's the bone. And you just scrape it, just like that, pull it out, cut along the bottom here. And there you go, there's the bone, there is the thigh. Get to it. All right. What we're gonna need is a little bit of chicken stock to put in the pan while we cook it. And because we've already cut up all these bones and everything, we have mushrooms. We're gonna make our own stock. You can use store-bought stock, or you can just use water with some chicken stock cubes or whatever. But we just basically cut up some mushrooms, put all our bones and excess meat and everything in this pot.
Some garlic.
Yeah, so Bailey's garlic, rosemary, mushrooms, salt, pepper, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna boil that and let it become a stock.
All right, we're gonna season the chicken before we stuff it with our hot sticker stuffing. And we have salt, pepper, and some cumin. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna try out some with just salt and pepper and then cumin. our pot sticker filling that's just been chilling in the fridge into debone wings and to our thighs. The thighs is gonna be less of a dumpling and it's more gonna be like a stuffed chicken. We're gonna bake the thighs and then we're going to pan fry the wings like a traditional pot sticker.
Let's get to it. So we're doing the thighs now, and you don't really need to use the bag for the thighs because you can just use a spoon. I'm putting a good healthy amount in there so that it's a good ratio of chicken to stuffing. I'm just gonna fold it over in half, make sure it's evenly spread out, and there you go. Fold it in half, and basically it's stuffed with filling. So we're just adding some garlic on top of our chicken thighs before we put it in the oven so that we can add that extra garlic flavor, that deliciousness is gonna get nice and roasted on top of there. And we're also gonna add some rosemary. We're gonna cook our stuffed chicken thighs in the oven. We got the oven preheated at 350 degrees. We're gonna cook it for about 30 to 35 minutes. Just make sure it's fully cooked. You can use a thermometer or use touch, but you really want the chicken to be fully cooked, and you can check that the stuffing is fully cooked because it's not gonna be like super moist or anything like that. Or falling apart. So let's go throw that in the oven. There's one. There's two. Bada bing, bada boom.
Now we're going to check on the other side. Now we take a little bit of our broth instead of using water like traditional pot stickers. Then we cover the lid back on.
Fully cooked chicken this inside without burning the meat.
And we turn this down to a lower heat.
Sasha just came up with this great idea. We're gonna try it. It's Experiment Kitchen. We're gonna add some of our broth to the actual chicken thighs that we're baking here. Just gonna add it on top like this. And then it should even out once we put it back in the oven and kind of bake into the chicken. And
also, this is a great way to keep the chicken moist.
that is a good idea.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you, Sasha.
Welcome.
Alright guys, we're making the sauces for the pot stickers. We're making 3 sauces. Yaz is gonna make a couple. I'm gonna make a couple sauces. One of the sauces I'm making is it's a go-to sauce that I eat on the regular. Goes with everything. You need a ton of garlic. Garlic is gonna be the base. Salt, pepper, dash of cumin. Since we have red peppers, why not? And sesame oil. This sauce is used a lot with Chinese hot pot, specifically for fatty beef. The next sauce that we're making is a Wasabi Mayo. Easy. All you gotta do is mayo and wasabi. If you like wasabi, go a little extra hard on the wasabi. If you don't, a little lighter. And then we have salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. Then we want to mix it up.
I'm making 2 more sauces. First sauce is very simple. It's soy sauce. I cut up some red chilies and I put the red chilies in there. Next, I'm gonna add some lime, half a lime of juice. I'm only making a little bit because I already have a lot of other sauces. And then I'm gonna add rice wine vinegar, just a dash. We're gonna mix it up. And that's pretty much a sauce right there. The last sauce that we're gonna make is gonna be a chili garlic honey sauce. It's gonna be really bomb. I'm starting with some wildflower honey sourced locally here in Maryland. It's real nice. I'm gonna get some of the liquidy part so it's easier to mix. So we're gonna need to loosen this bad boy up. We're gonna add some mayo in there. Mayo, 3 scoops of mayo. Then the last thing we're gonna add is this chili garlic sauce. We do want a good amount of chili garlic sauce because we want it to be spicy. We're gonna add ketchup. This is banana ketchup. It's the Asian stuff. You can use any kind of ketchup. This one has less vinegar. Use my 2 spoons to mix this up. I've got that incorporated. And of course, I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Okay, and we're gonna add a splash of fresh red chili in there. Get that in there. A little surprise in every bite.
Look at that. It's so pretty.
Nice. All right, guys, we finally finished making our stuffed wings and our stuffed thighs. There's a lot of work,
It was absolutely a lot.
but I think it's gonna be worth it. So we've got our 4 sauces here. We've got all our meat over there. And we made the broth out of the leftover bones and everything that we use to make our, dumplings and stuff. We also use it to make some ramen because we have some leftover noodles. So why not have that on the side? That's over here. If you want to see a ramen recipe, watch out for the next couple videos. We'll probably make one soon, right? Let's see how worth it actually was. I want to start with the spiced one. Oh, which one is that? That's that one? All right, let's go for the spiced one. Let's give it a shot with no sauce.
Well, you can try the spice one.
You try the salt and pepper?
Salt and pepper.
Oh, this is a big fat boy right here. Wow. Wow.
That's worth it.
That's worth it.
This is absolutely that's worth it. Like
Yeah.
I made this before, filming it, it was still worth it.
When you cook the outside of this with the chicken skin and everything, all that fat and juice and everything coming out into the pan, and then adding the broth that we made,
Instead of water.
yeah, instead of water, it like kind of dries up and turns into this like little bit of a layer of like purified stock sauce kind of crust. I don't know what to call it, but it really has a lot of flavor on it.
I'm gonna try it with the wasabi mayo. Oh.
Wasabi mayo is good. I want to try that one. Yeah. Tag team. Hey, I'm gonna get some garlic on there too. Like that. Ooh.
Oh man. The one with the cumin and the paprika, that adds like a whole different, yeah.
Just imagine like having a Peruvian like broiled chicken that's like, the rotisserie kind of chicken, all that flavor and stuff from the skin, the fat and everything. And then just imagine inside of a dumpling or like a gyoza, right? That like herbal onions and ginger and everything punching through that umami outside. And we added those great mushrooms in there, so it's like really bomb. And then the sharpness, complementary flavors that these sauces bring just takes it over the top. It's so awesome.
I'm gonna try a thigh. Like I'm not even gonna.
You going for the thigh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the thigh.
I'm gonna try a thigh too. Look at this bad. This is a big thigh. Mmm. Here's the front. That's bomb.
Oh yeah, it is.
The gyoza flavor comes out so good, and the seasoning is well seasoned, not too salty, not too anything.
The spices complement each other. Nothing was overpowering. All the ingredients, it played its role perfectly.
I didn't try the wasabi sauce yet. I actually really wanted to try that. I'm gonna try some wasabi sauce on my thigh. Mmm. Mmm. Wow, the skin is so crispy and flavorful.
Yep. Broiling was a good idea.
You gotta broil your chicken at the end. The wasabi is like a perfect complement. Wow.
I'm gonna try the broth that we made.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is
Oh, so pure. You taste the
the
mushrooms?
savoriness of the chicken and the mushroom added with the sweetness of the egg yolk. Like it's absolutely delicious.
That mushroom, I don't know if it's the shiitake or the oyster mushroom, but it kind of gives like seafood kind of vibe. Or maybe it's the seaweed.
It's the oyster mushroom.
Oyster
It's
mushrooms.
the oyster mushrooms.
It has a seafood vibe to it. Wow, that's awesome. Guys, take a look at these noodles. Fresh udon noodles. It's not salty. It doesn't have artificial like chicken or shrimp flavor in it or instant ramen. It has that pure broth flavor and it's got all that mushroom in it. It's so good. It's so pure. I would say the difference.
It's not heavy.
Yeah.
You don't feel lethargic.
Also, you don't get like a punchy flavor. It's not like a strong flavor. It's very sort of mild, pure flavor. But it's so like, it leaves you wanting more. You're like, you want more of that taste because it's lingering. It's not like overpowering your palate. Instant noodles do with that powder. That is bomb. That was definitely worth it. That was definitely a win. All right, guys, that was a lot of work. Took us like, I don't know, what was it, 4 hours because we're filming at the same time. It took a little longer. You know, it was totally worth it. This chicken, stuffed chicken is like off the charts. It's like a wing on steroids. Not only because when you fry a wing, you only get like a little bit of flavor in the sauce. We've got sauce, then we have the flavor of the broth and how we cooked it. And it's like frying in its own juices and everything combined together. Then we did the baked thighs, which is like an easier version of this. And you get a lot more meat, a lot easier. So that's also a great alternative if you don't want to debone a bunch of wings. Then we made these awesome complimentary sauces, which just go great. So you can try 1, 2, or 3, how many you want. This came out absolutely amazing. I love it with noodles on the side. This is a great thing to impress your friends when they come over if you got the time and effort.
Impress your lady.
Yeah.
Impress a potential lady. Absolutely is worth it. It tastes great. If you want more of a traditional pot sticker flavoring, go with the chicken wings. If you want something more crispy, more for like the Western palate, go with the baked / broiled thighs.
All right, guys, that's our video for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't hit the like or subscribe button, make sure you hit one or the other. Make sure you hit at least one. And if you have any suggestions for videos we should make in the future that you want to see, make sure you leave it in the comments below, and we'll make sure we shout you out when we make that video for you. Until next time, peace.